We are in 2022, the year of elections. A couple of months and we are deep inside. There can be no better time than now to ask ourselves whether we are doing the right thing as we look for votes. There can be no better time than now to have a conversation around matters that will ensure we remain a country, even as we go into this election and after. I find, therefore, this is a good time to address the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, and to ask him, as a peace-loving Kenyan, to be mindful of his language. Of late, the language being used by the Deputy President can ban this country. We are not necessarily calling him out. This is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. But as a person who loves this country, as a person with children and grandchildren, I cannot keep quiet when I see leaders saying things that could destroy this country. In particular, making reference to recent repeated remarks from the Deputy President, to paraphrase him in Kiswahili. Tumewapigia kura, wanataka tupigie watoto wao, na sasa wanataka tuwapigie magoti. That we voted for them and even their fathers. They want us to vote for their children and kneel for them. If ever there was incitement, nothing could be greater than that. I'm therefore asking the Deputy President to reconsider and rethink. And I'm asking all leaders. We only have one country called Kenya. Even those of you who may have the opportunity, the luck, the benefit of owning homes outside this country, COVID should have taught you something. That all of us just have one country. For almost a year, even the richest among us could not travel and leave their countries to go and live in their wonderful homes outside their countries, to even go and seek medical care. Many died in their countries with all the billions they had. So I'm saying this is the only country we have in many ways than one. In more ways than one. We must love this country. If you want to be a member of parliament, there must be a constituency for you. There must be people for you to lead. If you want to be a governor, there must be a county for you. If the county goes up in flames, what will you be governor for? And obviously, much more responsibility on the part of those who want to be president of this country. This may be a poor third world country, but it's all we have. And we must love it for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. If you want to be president, how will you be president of a country that's up in flames?
Kampuni hapa ya kuuza pombe. Hii pombe imemaliza watu dunia hii, si ndio wao wanauza? Si wako na kampuni ya kuuza gas? Si wako na kampuni ya kuuza mafuta? Kazi yao ni kwenda kujenga nyumba Dubai, kujenga nyumba London, kujenga nyumba South Africa. Alafu wanakuja hapa wanataka tukae kwa umaskini. Mimi ninataka niwaambie hawa wangwana, hakuna mtu nimeappoint awe muhasibu ya William Ruto. Kwani kuna mtu nimeappoint akuwe auditor ya kuaudit ile pesa mimi niko naye? Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa wangwana, mumetuzoea vibaya. Tulipigia kura baba zenu, tukawapigia magoti. Ndio hawa nyinyi tunawapigia kura, mnataka tuwapigie magoti. Alafu mnataka kutupangia ati tupige kura na magoti watoto yenu. Mtajua hamujui. hii mwaka hii ndio tutakomesha hiyo madharau yenu na tutakomesha hiyo kiburi yenu.
Look for votes, but for heaven's sake, please watch and mind your language. When the deputy president came up with the hustler narrative, I was among those who said this is a dangerous narrative. It has destroyed countries. You can campaign by dividing people, religious grounds, economic, anything. But let me say this. Nothing is more dangerous than dividing people along class lines. All of us look forward to a day when there will be equity in this country. I personally look forward to a time when there will be no slums in this country. Whether I will be here or will be gone to my Mecca. It pains me to see Kenyans living lives of what surely we can only call lives of animals. It pains me. If it was within my reach, I'll bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. And this country has the resources to do that, to ensure Kenyans live a decent life befitting the 21st century. It's our corruption, our greed, our theft that makes it impossible for Kenyans to enjoy the standards of life they so much deserve within their reach. That is one thing. If you aspire to be president, Raila Amolo Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Kizza Kitui, Moses Wetangula, William Ruto, make sure as you look for votes, you do not excite passions. The hustler narrative was a dangerous narrative. That you are telling people they are suffering because of people of a certain class, dynasties, or watoto wakubwa. I mentioned this about a year or so ago, that today when you talk of dynasty, you are talking of Raila, Moi, Uhuru and the rest. But within no time, if this had not been put into check, and lucky for us if it hadn't been a bubble that burst, within no time, the dynasty was going to go beyond Kenyatta and Raila and Moi. It is going to encompass anybody who is rich, and rich in the eyes of those down there. I did say, and I want to repeat today, when there are parades of angry mobs, when you pass with your second-hand vehicle, you will be a dynasty to those people. When they throw stones, the stone will not leave your head because you are on the hustler side. I did draw parallel with what happened. I think it was some Central African country, I can't remember which, where rebel forces at some point got to a point and the soldiers themselves declared ceasefire to create time to loot. Yes? Don't think you are safe. You cannot be safe. I mentioned the unfortunate incident of 2007. And I said if Kofi Annan had not come to help us, if the chaos in Kisumu hadn't come to an end, the boys were headed to Mlimani, where the rich live. At that point, it will not matter whether you are Luo or Kikuyu or Luya. No. What matters is what they want. Don't also forget, as we enjoy the good things we enjoy, our lower tiers, our fellow Kenyans who are down there, they admire these good things. And they'll be going for those good things. They will not care who you are. We must not push ourselves there. And therefore, I beseech the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, be mindful of your language. Be mindful of your language. I'm saying this out of love, because I want you to be president of this country one time. But you cannot be president of a country that is not there. Those are words of passion. Those words can burn a country. We need to be very, very careful with what we say. Because I have said repeatedly, there is nothing we can do without peace. And I've said peace is number one. Peace is number two. Peace is number three. Then number four, we can begin engaging on who will be president, how will they do, you know, that kind of thing. Nothing will happen without peace. I've said this time without number, to use the cliche. I'm also talking about people who might think it is gaining bonga points. You are inviting sympathy by doing all manner of things. This is not the time for me to mention. But those who are doing things, knowing very well they are not true, they want to invite sympathy. You must be careful. I read what was perhaps the concession speech from Goodluck Jonathan when he lost the presidency in Nigeria. And President Goodluck Jonathan said something I cannot quite phrase properly, but something to this effect, that I had to decide, and I made that decision, that I could not have the presidency at all costs. That human life is so important that I could not ride over it to become president. So I'm trying to poorly paraphrase. He meant, yes, he wanted to remain president. But he knew that there are certain things he would do to remain president after the elections that could lead to chaos and perhaps bloodshed. And he was not prepared to do that. I'm simply inviting our leaders to have that kind of mindset, that frame of mind, that yes, you want to be a president, but it should not be at all costs. This election is going to be very heated, and unless Raila Odinga, William Ruto, and the rest in the pack, unless they begin to see things in that way, we could be headed for trouble. I must end by saying what I said at the beginning. The elections are around the corner. We must be careful with what we say. We have a following. The kind of following William Samoei Ruto has is not something you can take for granted. Don't say anything to put passions on flame. Be measured. You can lose the president in 2022, but you can be president in 2027, 2032. Raila has been at this thing from 1997. He may get it this year. The guy in Zambia who got a church had run for 5 times. Let there be a country so that when you come second time, you will get the presidents when there is a country. Please, mind your language. Mind your language.